What's good, YouTube? It's your girl who did it. I'm back with another video to tell you who did it. Now, you know, I just wanted to make this video because, like I told y'all, they not stopping me from saying what's on my mind, you know. They try to censor everybody who agree with the truth. You get what I'm saying? Everybody who agree with Mag, they censor them. And they censor the Mag as well. And everybody who don't agree with him and make the videos dissing him, they keep it up and they get thousands of views. So I just had to point that out, but still shout out Mag Bitter Truth because he's the one who shed light to this whole situation. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Now, in my last video, I was talking about the COVID vaccine and how, like, you know, how they're gonna use it to control people and shit like that, and where Project Bluebeam comes into play with this whole thing. Now, with these scenarios here, they do the same thing all the time. They create the situation and then they play hero. So what they're gonna do now is like what they did in the pandemic. Because let's highlight this, and they told you that the pandemic, you know, they came out with it on the news in 2020, but they tell you it's been around since 2019, right? But Obama been announcing it since 2015. That's the fucked up part. But if it was around since 2019, like they claim on the false news that they, you know, tell people, how is it that now in 2020, what made it such a problem in 2020? Somebody ate bat soup and it came from Wuhan, China to here, but it came in 2019. So how did it get here in 2019? Somebody ate bat soup in 2019 too? So these people, like, their lies is not making no sense, which is why I feel like they had to come out with that CNN. Like, CNN had to take the fall for all these news stations and what they done did, because all they did was lie and people was figuring it out. Like, nothing that they ever said made sense, like, if you really think about it. You get what I'm saying? So how did it was a pandemic since 2019, but y'all made it official in 2020. So you mean to tell me y'all picking and choosing when y'all declaring something an official emergency? So I just feel like they created, you know, because they tell you, like, America funded what, Wuhan, China, 3.5 million or something like that in 2015, and this is public information. This is their own information I'm using against them. You get what I'm saying? So when people come out and they do their little research, they try to tell people, oh, misinformed, like what they do with my video. They strike my video and talking about misinformed, medical misinformation. If anybody has been medically, you know, misinforming anybody, it's these media outlets, the news, all these news right here that I'm showing y'all. They're the ones that's deceiving the people and misinforming them. So how dare they come out with a video? No, how dare they strike my video, take it down, and then tell me I'm medically and misinforming people when I'm using their words against them? So you see the mind games, like, they always gonna target the real. I swear to God, they always do it, like. And I had a feeling this was coming because now even my Instagram is acting up. Like, I have to refresh my page like a good 4 or 5 times just to access it, because it keeps saying this link may be broken or the page may be taken down. So I have to keep refreshing my page just to get on my page and still post my stuff. You know, they denied my appeal because I appealed that shit and I said freedom of speech. You know, give me my video back. Like, I said in my opinion, the people know it's my opinion, so why would y'all take my video down? You know, they still say it violates the community standards. So it's like, how I violate the community standard by stating my opinion? Like, that's what I mean. This country is not a free country. It's free at a cost. So it's not free. You get what I'm saying? So, and you know what's gonna happen too when y'all go and try to approach the situation, and when y'all finally do try to riot it and do what you know y'all was been supposed to do, what we was been supposed to do as people. They're gonna hit you with the, I told, like, you know, we let you guys know this, you guys agreed to this, you guys let this happen, you took the checks, you did everything, you know. They're gonna push all that in our face. Like, that's what I say, like, the government funding and everything with the housing and everything. That's what they want to do. They want complete control so that when that time come, if you don't agree with whatever they agree with, they could just strip you of everything and leave you homeless. Like, that's like when these celebrities go and they, sign these fucked up contracts. They never read the important part. Just like when y'all watching the news, y'all never pay attention to the part where they blatantly telling y'all what they doing to y'all. Y'all just hear it and be like, well, some people just hear the news and be like, oh, they agree with everything and don't know what the hell the news is saying. Whole time the news telling on themselves. That's why they had to use the CNN, because, I gotta ask, what makes all these other news stations different? Like I said in my last video, what made these other news stations different from CNN? They all said the same thing. They all carry the same news. So what made CNN, Eyewitness News, Pix 11, all these other news stations, what made it different? They didn't say nothing. All these other news stations, they didn't say nothing different from the CNN. So that's the mind game right there. They're going to use one to take the fall, like the mag said, and, draw the people in to think that those are the fakers when they all fakers. They all fakers. So now y'all going to go hard watching Fox and all these other news stations, and they telling the same lies that CNN is telling. So pick up on that. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. Like, they lies don't make sense in the first place, and all they doing in all these scenarios is playing hero. Like, they create a situation and they play hero, like the pandemic. And what they're gonna do with this Project Bluebeam here is they're gonna have all these holograms in the sky that's looking like it's sending bombs, like UFOs and extraterrestrial beings is coming out the sky, and these are just gonna be actors / military agents and shit hopping out of jets, but you won't see it. You're not gonna see that part. They're just gonna make it look realistic to the point where you think this is real, but you gotta know, like, this ain't real. This is the same country, the same world that we living in. They're the ones doing it to us, the government. They're the ones that's doing this right now. They're the ones who's gonna fake the whole UFO thing and the whole Project Bluebeam. That's what they're planning to do. So people gonna be thinking that it's aliens and shit. No, it's the US government with the black suits on, like the Men in Black. You ever watch that? If you watch that, that dropped a lot of gems, and it was a subliminal to the New World Order. That Men in Black right there, they're gonna come looking different, like, but that's all a costume. That's all, like, just different type of technology suits that they got on to fool the people, to make us think that these are really aliens when it's our own people. And they're gonna still play the savior. And after they demolish the earth with the bombs, because that's what they're gonna do, they're gonna make it look like bombs and shit is coming out of the sky, when they the ones that's blowing this shit up and desecrating this earth. That's what they're gonna do. So when the shit is desecrated and everybody's left with nothing, everybody who didn't prepare for that moment, when they left with nothing, they're gonna have to look to the government, and people gonna be looking up to them, and what they're gonna hit them with? The pandemic. There was a pandemic going on, and due to the pandemic, if you don't have a vaccine, you can't come in this shelter right here. You can't get no food, you can't get no shelter, you can't do nothing, you can't take no shower. So prepare yourself, people. Get your little, if you need to start creating your own little bomb shelter, it's not hard. Like, these people are doing it. They're doing what they doing. They creating their shit for these times. Like, even with school, you think they sending their kids back to school. That's what I said. Sending your kids back to school is done for. Sending them back to school is done for, because you know what? They're gonna start, coming up in the schools, checking who got vaccines and shit like that, taking people away from their schools, holding them hostage because they don't got a vaccine, and they're gonna check on the family, and they're gonna come after the family too. It's okay to homeschool your children. Your kids ain't missing out on nothing anyway. Because if you ain't woke, you need to wake up and realize they ain't been teaching your kids shit but Christopher Columbus They tell you he discovered America. Mind you, black people been in America. So that's the first lie. That's one lie. They want to teach your kids everything but how to be financially stable. You get what I'm saying? You gotta pay thousands of dollars to go to schools that teach you those type of things. You gotta pay for private school, all type of shit. Like, nah. Right there, y'all should like pick up on that type of shit. In the free public schools, they teach them bullshit. They brainwash like most of the society's children. Making them think that the white man it goes so deep. And a lot of us been to school before, so y'all know what I'm talking about. They push these tests in the children's face, like children feel they gotta repeat the grade. Of course they gonna feel, because this is not natural. This is not the real history. Nobody wants to learn some shit that's not their real history. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna be into that. So don't be blaming your kids when they're not into this shit from school, because they don't teach your kids nothing positive, nothing constructive that can really help them in life. Financial literacy, none of that. They just teach them about the white people and what their agenda been the whole time. If you pay attention, the schools been pushing, public schools especially, been pushing the agenda for a long time. And when I graduated high school in 2019, I remember like my final year, they started talking about like LGBTQ curriculum. So in my mind, like I ask people like, what the fuck does LGBTQ have to do with education? Why do I need to be educated on another person's sexuality? Right? If a person is gay and they go into school, why they can't just be gay going to school? Why it have to be a curriculum about that? Like, why do we have to study that? Because they're gonna push it in the lifestyle in your face. They're gonna put sad stories and shit like that. People gonna feel bad and vulnerable. Some people gonna start thinking that they was living in the closet. This is what they're gonna do in the schools. You feel me? They're gonna, because it doesn't make no sense. People coming to school to learn about get an education is bad enough. In the education, y'all not even teaching us nothing. But then y'all gonna come and tell us that we gotta learn the LGBTQ curriculum too. So we got math, science, Spanish, social studies, gym, art, theater, all type of shit. Electives, and then we gotta learn about an LGBTQ curriculum in school. Somebody's sexuality. Nobody ever banned gay people from coming to school and shit. So the fact that they making it seem like these people was outcasted, y'all was never outcasted. They put it on the media that people used to beat up on these people and shit like that. No, nobody used to beat up on y'all until, you started infiltrating and doing that shit around people who wasn't fucking with that shit. Thinking that, you could just come and force your way of lifestyle on everybody else. You get what I'm saying? Trying to make the natural born man and woman feel wrong. So that's another thing I wanted to point out with their agenda. They trying to feminize the men and emasculate the woman. Like, and it's crazy because it's really happening now. Like, women have to really muscle up to defend themselves against these men out here, and the men don't even realize, like, damn, I'm infeminating myself. All I'm saying is, like, with that LGBTQ curriculum, because again, people be in their feelings about this, so I don't need the rainbow parade coming for me, but what does that have to do? What is a job gonna ask me about that? Like, if I go get a job, are they gonna ask me about LGBTQ or what it stands for? They're not gonna ask me none of that shit. LGBTQ ain't gonna help nobody make no money. Like I said, it's bad enough they not teaching nobody shit to help them make any type of money, and especially in these public schools. So let's move on to. And another thing too, like where they ran a test run on the test dummies was with the Black Lives Matter protest, because if you educated on it, you'll know that George Soros funded this whole thing. Like, it literally is basically telling you it's staged, and he funded this whole staging. You get what I'm saying? Because even police officers was caught setting up for the riots. They was caught putting down shit so people could use and vandalize the place. And then you see them coming and pepper spraying people and shooting them with rubber bullets. So they basically giving y'all the rope to hang. They gave y'all the rope to hang yourself with this whole Black Lives Matter thing right here. You get what, to start more war than it needs to be. You know, they really divided and conquered already with this social distancing with the 6 feet. But with this whole Black Lives Matter thing, what they did was like, they did with the best thing to do. You already divide the community, divide them by the race and everything, and then you got them where you want them, because then every race is looking at it as a dog eat dog world. So everybody's for their own race, but don't even pay attention to the fact that if we all come together and use our brain together, we could take down this damn government, and that's what they don't want. Which is why they did this whole Black Lives Matter thing with the cop putting his knee down in his neck and everything like that. Like they do this all the time, and they've been staging these type of shits with these crisis actors, these trained Marxists. They've been doing this for a long time, you know, and putting these stories out there. Like, and I'm gonna tell y'all something right now too. Stop eating that damn Chinese food, because you see what they doing on the media. You get what I'm saying? You already see what they're doing on the media with the Asians versus black people, trying to make it seem like, you know, we beating up on Asian people, like the Max said, like we beating up on the Asian people, you know, fighting them because of the coronavirus. So stop eating from them, because you never know what they putting in the food now. Like, so be very mindful of that. So, you know, in Barbados, I don't even remember it was a volcanic eruption, I guess, I think in one of these Caribbean islands, and they're already talking about, oh, if you don't got the vaccine, you know, you can't get no shelter. So what you think is going to happen if it's happening not even in our region, in our country, our state that we staying in right now? What do you think is going to happen here? You get what I'm saying? The so-called third world countries that they call third world countries, which I feel like, you know, America is the real third world country. Like, if you think about it, every root of every problem starts with America. Think about it. Every root of every problem starts with America, because they don't mind their business. They just feel like they need to go somewhere else and infiltrate somewhere else and force their agenda on other people. And it has worked so far if you pay attention, because now the new world order is going to be, you know, different heads of the government coming together. Right now, it's happening already. It's been happening. You know, they put their heads together, the 10 heads, or 10 to 13 heads, I believe. One of those numbers. You know, they come together and they make these plans and these decisions that I'm talking about right now in this video. So I posted a video of my other channel, YouTube Take Down this video right here. Y'all ain't missing out on shit. Go like, comment, and subscribe on that channel, because the truth can never be tamed. You get what I'm saying? And it's about time that we start letting these YouTube people know that we ain't scared of them. Because nobody on this channel, if you scared of them, don't come on this channel. So if you still believe in, you know, what they say is to come and all that shit that they talking about, you lost in the grape juice, and it's nobody to save you. Straight up. You know, and they basically, when they putting it out here, it's predictive programming. You get what I'm saying? They tell on themselves already, so that, you know, when the time does come when people start approaching them and ready to kill them, they try to, you know, use that against people. But don't fall for that shit. Don't fall for that shit. You know, get yourself together, get your health together, get right. You know, leave all the bad negative energy alone, because it's about to get real, people. It's about to get so real that, you know, a lot of people gonna be hurt, but hurt, loved ones gonna be lost, you know. You get what I'm saying? People who was lost, who wasn't picking up on what's going on, they're definitely gonna be lost as well. So you gotta just be mindful of that. Stuff like that is gonna come. A lot of sorrow and shit is gonna come. But you still gotta stand 10 toes for you and your immediate family or whoever you have around you at the moment. So just be mindful of that. You know, if you want me to make a part 2, comment down below. I will. You know I'm posting very, very late. But I know, there's a lot of late night watchers too who be bored. So just like, comment, share this video, subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to my other channel who did it, ×2. Because YouTube is already playing this strike game. So if they do give me 1 strike, I won't be able to post on this channel for a week. But you ain't missing out on nothing because I just created another channel. So go ahead and subscribe to that channel. Who did it?